True greatness in the world of professional wrestling can only be achieved if you succumb to one undeniable fact. Vince McMahon is a genius. No, wait, that's not it. Cena wins, lol. No, that's not it either. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. That's it. When you look at the current crop of WWE talent, there's no doubt that we are witnessing arguably the most physically talented roster of all time. And Nia Jax. However, their characters aren't all getting over to the level they could be. So, with that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 WWE wrestlers who need to be taught a lesson, and who by. Number 10, Sasha Banks by Randy Orton. The lesson? How to generate slimy heel heat. The Viper has excelled in slithering through the locker room for well over a decade, striking at whoever will benefit him the most at that time. This unique presentation has evolved over the years, from the younger, almost manic Orton, resembling the rattle of the snakes he emulates, to the slower, methodically composed serpent we witness today. Oh, for God's sake, get on with it, Randy! An array of malicious beatdowns and dastardly tactics have earned him countless world titles and a reputation as someone not to be taken lightly, or someone you want to shake hands with. Sasha showed glimpses of this inner unsavory reptile in her attacks on Natalya recently. If she doesn't drop her game and continues to dedicate herself to being the uncompromisingly devious villain of the division, Sasha could pass this class with the Viper's very own seal of approval. A hiss from the pros, if you will. Number 9, Seth Rollins by Bret Hart. The lesson, how to generate authentic sympathy as a babyface. In his prime, the Hitman could manipulate a crowd with the kind of ease and technical mastery that we simply don't get treated to from week to week nowadays. Seth Rollins currently finds himself in a similar boat to Hart, with his skill set placing him at the top of the WWE mountain, but his self-assurance currently coming across as smarmy and his attempts of garnering sympathy a bit of a whiny little bitch, to be honest. People love to see Hart showcase his undeniable flair in moving around that ring like no one else in the company, but smooth as he was, his real talent came in his ability to take a beatdown with a level of authenticity that forced the audience into cheering him back to full capacity. We saw a glimpse of Rollins exploring this in the SummerSlam bout with Brock Lesnar, but in order to truly get him over as someone we are actually rooting for, he needs to study the Hitman's back catalogue of overcoming the odds. Number 8, Bianca Belair by Charlotte Flair. The lesson, how to exude presence. Bianca Belair falls very much into the student element of this list, as she is still so early into her WWE career. With that being said, Blair is ridiculously talented for someone of her experience. She's only been doing this for 3 bloody years, debuting at an NXT live event just 2 months after signing her developmental contract. Charlotte Flair can still teach her a thing or two, though, about presence. Flair grew into herself with matches against her fellow horsewomen and developed a better understanding of what she brought to the table. This eventually enabled her to flourish her flickering Flairisms into the force we know today as the Queen. If Blair can take advantage of her distinctive, weaponized hair and imposing physique, this lesson could help her graduate at top of the class. Number 7, Nikki Cross by Lita. The lesson, how to get yourself over by proving yourself in the ring. Nikki Cross as a character has the potential to be an unstable hellfire of an individual who strikes unease and fear into the hearts of her opponents. At the moment, we have a kooky lady who shouts, "Who wants to play with Nikki?" and hangs around with Alexa Bliss. Lita found herself in a similar faceless situation upon her WWE debut with S.A. Rios, remember him, in 2000. She subsequently won 4 women's titles in her tenure, and her uncompromising style, rounded off with an epic moonsault, made us take notice. That helped her get over in the ring to the degree that when she turned heel and sided with rated R superstar Edge, how could you? It allowed her breathing room to develop her character and play with the crowd. If Nikki incorporates an in-ring style that gets the people on their feet, it's only a matter of time before the personality within breaks through. Number 6, Chad Gable by Kurt Angle. The lesson, how to infuse comedy with legitimacy. Chad Gable hasn't been in a position of any worth since his early main roster days as one half of NXT Darlings, American Alpha. If only he was 7 feet tall. Then again, the wrestling machine might have something to say about that. At 6 foot, he wasn't the tallest man on the roster, but size was never something Kurt Angle depended on. And no, that's not an insinuation about his penis. Angle told an impressive story in the ring and had a diverse palette. But his coming out party started when he realized his comedic timing and capacity to poke fun at himself could be used to get over. And it did. Milk, cookies, and naive hilarity put him on the map without taking away any of his wrestling credibility. If Gable could find the happy medium between levity and hard ass, he could strike gold soon enough. Now please stop making fun of his height. We get it, Vince. Number 5. Braun Strowman by Goldberg. The lesson, how to sustain your intensity. Bill Goldberg made a career out of wrecking people in minimal time with about as much care as a lion has for a gazelle. What made Goldberg a main event attraction was his uncompromising intensity, be it headbutting mirrors or punching in car windows. Well, that went well. If Goldberg did it, he went all in. That standard of insane focus has been missing from Braun Strowman's act for over a year now. When he announced himself as the next big thing to be taken seriously, he was steamrolling enhancement talent, flipping ambulances, and collapsing rings. Then Nicholas, not that one, dragged him to tag title glory at WrestleMania 34, and the previous teasing of a goofier slapstick Strowman was consolidated, leaving all that well-earned terror in tatters. Bollocks. Strowman shouldn't be wrestling long slogs either. Goldberg also learned that the hard way. Just get him in to destroy whatever's in front of him, then get him out of there. Bish, bash, bosh. Number 4. Ricochet by Will Ospreay. The lesson, how to use a mean streak without becoming a heel. Ricochet has inherited a vice known in the landscape of WWE as the Rey Mysterio role. Uh-oh. He is the underdog both in size and in contender standings. You cannot deny the man's God-given ability to soar through the sky with reckless abandon, or his bumping style, which sends shudders up your spine every time he takes a hit, though. If you wander over to Japan, you'll find one Will Ospreay, currently ripping up the rulebook of what is expected of a Super Junior, reigning as the division's junior heavyweight champion. Whilst not completely submerging into full-blown dick heel, the aerial assassin, or Sex Pig, has added more ground-based work to his array of moves, whilst giving his delivery a sharper touch, or, if you want to put it another way, putting some stink on it. It's fine-tuning, but this sort of lesson is capable of progressing Ricochet from high flyer to one of the company's legit top stars. Number 3. Baron Corbin by Stone Cold Steve Austin. The lesson, how to be an authority figure. Alright, I'll admit this is a long shot, but bear with me. Baron could use a visit from Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, not the rattlesnake though, but the Sheriff. Austin redefined himself at the end of 2003 when injuries had taken their toll on his body. As the on-screen power, Austin was both entertaining and advocating, whilst never losing any of his edge that made him the face of the company. Even with a gimmick as lame as the Sheriff, Stone Cold managed to bring gravitas and upheld the law of WWE as he saw fit. If Corbin fine-tunes his character into the frequency of a Sheriff-style anti-hero, we could be looking at a career-defining moment for the man. Even more so than when he got rid of that awful hair. Number 2. The Viking Raiders by the Legion of Doom. The lesson, how to get over with a hokey gimmick. The team, eventually known as the Viking Raiders, have had a tough time getting their feet on the ground on the main roster, which is understandable when you've had more name changes than bloody title wins on the Raw brand. When the two are in full swing, they are as dominant as they are visually intimidating. However, it's within these visuals that we uncover the issue. Since their debut on Raw this year, the two have struggled to recreate the feeling that they had on NXT of impending dread. But that's not to say it can't be done. The Legion of Doom carved a career out of establishing that atmosphere, using their entrances to set the tone for the brutal in-ring bullying that was about to take place. The Raiders have a higher level of athleticism, and they've already got the body armor down. If they can infuse what made LOD so beloved by the fans, they could set themselves up for a mega run. And maybe then I'll consider joining the Raid. Number 1, Cedric Alexander by Shawn Michaels. The lesson, how to make arrogance work. The Heartbreak Kid will go down in history as a masterstroke in taking a performer's real-life personality and dialing it up to 11. Michaels had a natural aptitude for wrestling, and his high-octane, flamboyant style was light years ahead of anything we'd seen in the then WWF. That is where Cedric Alexander springs to mind. Alexander has been on a steady incline for a few years now and has been gathering more and more positive reactions, with his innovative style complementing each milestone that ticks by. Oh, and Paul Heyman loves him, which helps. The ability is there. What's missing is the attitude. With a few more chips on his shoulders and a sprinkle of eccentricity, Cedric Alexander could be a big-time player soon enough. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.